I'm Phil Fenty. I started the store in 1984.
I'm Jan Fenty, and I started with Phil in 1984.
And I'm Sean Fenty, and I started with my parents in 1986 and purchased the store from them in 2008.
I'm Kimberly Fenty, and I currently own the store with my husband Sean.
What was Adams Morgan like when you first opened the store?
Adams Morgan was a pretty, everyone used the word funky. We moved into it had been a bar at Columbia Station, and they had just abandoned it, and we went in, and it was completely dark inside the building. We just knew this was the place to be, and because we just had been around, and the vibes at Adams Morgan were so wonderful.
Why did you decide to open a fitness apparel business?
I was a runner, biker, swimmer, and retail was something I really enjoyed doing. I wanted to open a running store, and there were only a couple of small running stores in Washington at the time. We got in touch with Sally Edwards, who was the franchise owner at the time, and after a year we were able to open a franchise here in Adams Morgan. The recommended thing with opening a franchise in the country, they were 18 in California and they wanted to open one on the East Coast, was to put it in your neighborhood. It was close to where we lived. We knew it was a very young community. When we did our surveys, I think it was somewhere around 25 to 30,000 people in this area. It was highly, a lot of people, a lot of young people.
In terms of owning a business, what do you find is easier now, and what's more challenging?
Well, easier, so I would say that, the technology piece is probably something that cuts both ways. It definitely kind of amplifies our productivity. It helps us reach our customers more efficiently, but also it kind of puts you into global competition. It commodifies what you do maybe a little bit more. When you're in a retail setting, it's sort of like you're in a position where people can come and get information and then not pay for it.
You have to think that 35 years ago, there weren't any computers, and the night we opened the store, we were in here putting up stuff, and people walked in and says, "Can we buy something?" We literally had a cigar box with some change in it. And people started buying it, and the next day it was sort of the same thing. And Al, who had So's Your Mom, came over and he saw us working out of his shoebox, and he came back and brought us a cash register. Now this cash register had the so that's where we were for quite a while, and it was a lot different how you dealt with customers and how you dealt with the world out there. And when Jan and I sold the store to Sean and Kim, they couldn't wait for us to step out of the cave so they could bring in the real technology. And they brought in much higher technology that we weren't ready for at all. So it's been a big change that helped the store a lot. Yeah.
Kimberly and Sean, how has the neighborhood changed since then?
Well, there were all kinds of businesses, there's far more restaurants now. This was a pharmacy at the time, actually, and when we were across the street, and there were, gift shops and bookstores, and there were all kinds of businesses.
Ben Franklin,
Yeah.
Five and Dime.
Oh, that was, really.
And, Adams Morgan is a great community, and it really draws from very diverse communities. It's kind of a hub, right? So over here you have Mount Pleasant, and over there you have Columbia Heights, and behind us you have Calorama, and you have Woodley Park. And Adams Morgan is kind of in the middle where everything kind of has to pass through and mix. Such a strong sort of sense of free-spirited individualism that really kind of marks this community. In the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of investment with the new hotel and all the new apartment buildings going up. All of that was just sort of coalescing when the pandemic hit, and so it's a little bit difficult to kind of say what things will look like kind of post that, but Adams Morgan is growing and there's investment here, but it also seems like the community is sort of protected the culture and the nature of the neighborhood.
We didn't become Georgetown.
Right.
That was always
Here, they didn't want to be Georgetown.
We were Adams Morgan.
No, we said it's not going to happen, and it hasn't.
Right.
You're right. No, that's really good to hear.
What are still some of your favorite things about Adams Morgan?
The people, the diverse people.
And great food.
That's true.
Still great food up here.
Yeah. And I love being able to come back on Columbia Road and 18th Street and still see the same people living here.
Exactly.
I just
Yeah.
love it. So it's a real sense of community.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
usual time we have runners, so we have run programs and fun runs, and so we have people have been doing that with Phil and Jan.
Right,
That
right.
still, come back to see us and do some of the runs with us, and that's been great. That's
Yeah.
a really good part of the community.
Find us at fleetfeetdc.com. We have a Fleet Feet DC Facebook and Instagram, and we post content regularly on there, so please check us out. Yeah. We do have an email list. You can find that on our website, fleetfeetdc.com.